if you're thrown into water and you've got to learn how to swim, you're going to learn how to swim quicker. I remember being like crying because I was like, I feel like I'm letting everyone down. But under the water, I was like this, and I was like, I don't know how to get out of this.
That's why I have no hair. Honestly, it was chaos.
Everyone talks about like the highlight reel. In reality, you've got somebody crying on the bedroom floor at 10 a.m. I just thought, bet on yourself. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Coming in.
Oh, this is so exciting.
How was the journey?
Good, thanks.
Welcome to the AMSOS podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We jump in here. As you can see in front of you, there are 2 lanes of categories.
Yeah.
So first thing is we're going to choose what topic you want to talk about.
Okay.
Acquisition or ambition?
Ambition.
Mistakes or money?
Money.
Sacrifice or strategy?
Sacrifice.
Opinions or opportunity?
Opportunity.
Service or survival?
Survival.
Well, while I get all of this set up, why don't you give us some context? Who is Christie? What have you been getting up to?
So I have got my marketing agency, which is Ocho the Agency. We are a property marketing business, so I specialise in working with property businesses, and that can range from architects, interior designers, developers, investors, pretty much anything if you're in the property space. And we basically manage social media for them. So content, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, ads, like everything within that realm. And then because we've built such like an amazing network within the property industry, we're actually able to provide value in other ways, in ways of like referrals, and like we've built like a really good network of people. So we've actually been able to make people a lot of money in other ways, like more than just on the social sides, just from having like an extensive network, which is I always find quite nice. So yeah, I've got like, it's busy at the minute, but it's all good.
Why did you pick that niche, property?
So I've got a lot of people who I know who are within the property industry. I've always found it like fascinating anyway, but I feel like when I was starting, I knew I didn't want to be a generalist, because I think you can be like, it's almost like jack of all trades, master of none. But I was like, I know that if I can service one type of industry really well, it'll like, you become known, you become like the face of that, and not like I'm the face of it, but like you become like really well known in like one area. And you can service your clients better because you're like really in tune with what's going on.
But that can't be easy though, when you have other people coming to you that are not in that niche and go, we like what you're doing for this person, we're seeing that you're doing a good job, can you do the same for us? How have you got to that stage where you can go, do you know what, as much as I'd love to work with you, you're not a fit?
Yeah, I think, do you know what, it depends, because like for example e-com, I don't really like do much with that, although I've got like a lot of friends who like are in that space. And it's just completely different. So like I wouldn't want to sell somebody on a service where I don't feel 100% confident in like knowing that I've got results in that area. Or like I have like a lot of people who've come to me like in hospitality or like in other industries. And usually the people who come to me who are in different industries are usually the people who don't want to pay for like a decent service. So for me, it's quite easy to say no to that, because I know what I'm worth and I want to be paid for it.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But the world of social media constantly changing, constantly evolving.
Yeah.
What are some of the cool insights that you can maybe give us?
Oh, this is a good question. So, I mean, where'd you begin? Instagram is just give like a new update where you can have like multiple different captions on images. So like, for example, do you know if you're a business and you've done like a carousel and like maybe you're showcasing products, you can have a different caption on each slide of your carousel. So it's becoming a little bit more dynamic in the way you do things. It's also being able now for the likes of, if you're selling products, you can tag the products, or like if you're an influencer, you can make money. Like it's like on TikTok Shop where you'll get commission. You can kind of do the same thing on Instagram now, which is really interesting the way they've got to pivot, because TikTok is such like a big beast in the world. And yeah, like there's just always different things coming on.
Love that. I didn't know about that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the carousel bit recently, but I didn't know about the making money part. Well, let's jump into ambition, which is the category that you chose.
Let's just go for this one. It seems to want to come to me.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
If this agency became everything you hoped, what would your average day look like?
Everyone's ideal kind of life is eventually build a business. So you either are not involved in it day to day or you sell it. So I think if I was still within the business, it would look like me going into an office with a team of like people, everybody, like I would have like a power team of people working within the business. Everyone would know the place. It would just be working like a well-oiled machine. I would maybe just be like overseeing everything and making sure, I love to be client facing. Like I love my clients that I work with, and I would still want to have that relationship with them. So I would probably be on like the more client facing side and just doing like the really high value tasks. So like constantly evolving, like being able to like market the business on like podcasts and events and constantly be doing that and still be in the face. Or I think eventually if it was like a possibility, it would be like working 1 day a week and being able to do like other things and focus on family and things like that. Or it would be to sell it for a lot of money and then move on to the next project.
That's quite a very clear plan and line of what you're doing. And with no disrespect, for someone so young, how did you become so astute very, very quickly? Because I've spoken to a lot of agency owners, and most agency owners, they're just running their business, they're just running their agency. Hopefully it gives them a bit of money, hopefully it gives them a bit of time, but then they ended up spending more time in the agency than the time that they hoped they would save. But you've got something clearly defined. Where did all this come from?
Well, do you know what? I think I am still in the trenches now of like, work. Life and work is like very much, you don't get a day off. It's like you are your own boss and you're living it. But I think that's where the vision of, I think if you were just doing that every single day with no plan out of it, you would just very quickly become burnt out and you'd resent your job and everything. And if this is relevant, my background is I'm a scientist by trade. So I worked in a lab, I managed a lab. So my background is chemistry, like it's not marketing, which is why when I came into this, I was like, okay, basically what happened was I got to a really high point in my career quite at a young age. And I was like, I actually don't like this. Like, what can I do? Like, it's going to give me the life that I want to do. So because I jumped quite early and I've managed to build this business, like I know that. Not that it's possible because I haven't built and sold a business, but you can kind of do anything that you put your mind to. Because I just did this, learnt on the job, got experience, offered me time, and I've built something which is now surpassed what I was doing in that job or what I thought I was going to go with that. So yeah, I just have a very clear vision and think you should just take risks and do it.
What is it with you scientists? I had a guest on the podcast recently and he was a physicist.
Nice.
So he left literally very, very similar. I'll make sure I connect you to you guys together, because I'm sure there's a lot of stories you guys will be able to share.
Yeah.
He left the physics world similar to you in a career that he's doing, and he just didn't feel fulfilled, and eventually left that to start a creative agency that deals with meta creative testing and things of that nature.
Nice.
Very, very,
very data-led.
Very data-led, very niche, but also very creative because, well, you're on Meta, you need to be able to capture the attention. What advantages do you think coming from that world has been able to give you in the marketing world?
So I think, and then I don't mean to stereotype or generalise at all, but I think a lot of people have the misconception that social media girlies are like airy-fairy and it's like everything's got to look gorgeous and it's like, oh yeah, like, and you just float through life. When in reality, being in marketing is like, and obviously you know this, it's bloody hard work. Like you're constantly looking at data, you're looking at what's working, you're A/B testing. There's a lot of thought and strategy and numbers that go into it. And if you look at science and like chemistry as a whole, it's all about experimenting. It's all about looking at data. It's trial and error, and there's a lot of transferable skills within that. And then obviously because my job was managing people and it was people led as well, that's kind of what I do now anyway. So it wasn't too much, even though it's completely different. It's actually played to my advantage because I understand the numbers and I know that I've got a background of already doing that anyway. It's just moving it over to something different.
Absolutely. So you said the goal, the ambition, working 1 day a week. What are you doing for the remaining 4 days?
Oh, I mean, I am somebody who I bite off more than I can chew, always. Like I've always been that way. So I would probably throw myself into something different, or I would still be involved in something while also having like multiple other projects, or maybe I would grow my personal brand. So it would be more like speaking events, or maybe I would invest in other businesses, start a property portfolio, you know. I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet, but I would like to have this business and like set that up to be able to spend time doing other things.
Okay.
this one.
What's a financial habit that's quietly served the agency really well?
From the beginning, putting money away for tax. Like, I know that sounds absolutely like so basic, and I think a lot of agency owners, you're quite scrappy, and it's like, right, this is what's in the bank account, well, we've got to focus on next month and like making sure everyone's happy. But if you're not focused on, like, okay, the tax year is going to come round and they will just hit you with a bill and you need the 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is to pay it, and if you haven't got it, then you're screwed. So like from the beginning, I've always put like 30% away of everything I've made into a tax account, and I've always had more than I've needed, but then that's paid for national insurance, that's paid for the accountant, that's paid for the corporation tax, that's paid for personal tax. Like I've always had more in that account than needed, obviously once you've offset your profit and loss. But it's a really good habit because I don't see that money, that just comes out, like it just automatically goes out into a different bank account and I don't see it. And then I'm able to just tap in when I need to pay HMRC or the accountant. But yeah, I think that saves.
Where did that idea come from?
Aidan.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's very, he's good with money, like he's very logical, he's very, like, you know him. So at first he was like, you need to do this, and I'm so glad that I listened to him and did it, and I haven't like dipped in when I've needed to or whatever. I've like literally just purely used it for the financial benefit of the company. But I think a lot of people don't do that.
Most people don't. Really,
Yeah.
most people don't. And then you wonder where all the money's gone. And I've been guilty of it. Like in the early days of the career, there was a time when we were growing at an unprecedented rate. I mean, we went from 6 people to 21 people in the space of 6 months.
Oh my God, that's insane. How did you do that?
I don't know. That's why I have no hair. Honestly, it was chaos. Like,
Yeah.
And then when my VAT bill jumped, and then when my PAYE bill jumped, because I just had so many things going on, I wasn't able to manage all of it.
Yeah.
Previous to that, we started the business in 2017. I started a business. So the first 4 years, never had any tax issue, quite similar to you.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite set on like a 30%, but every time money came in, I had a different spaces within the bank account where I just moved the money into.
Yeah.
There was never a period in my life where I couldn't pay the VAT bill. But then that year happened, and I now understood, bloody hell, the financial pressures that comes with not planning properly, but knowing that you've got a strategy in place and you're following that to save you is phenomenal. Moving forward though, how do you do it? Do you have it in the same bank account? Do you have a completely separate bank account? What is your take
So
on
I've got like a space which is technically called bank account 2, but it's not bank account 2. It
Okay.
is just like a space within the thing, but I don't, it's like it's not there. Like I'm quite good. I think it's like undiagnosed ADHD, but I'm quite good if I don't see it, it's not there. So I just don't even see that. Like that's like fake money to me. Like it's not mine. It's like the businesses. So because I don't see it and I just see it come out every month.
I read a book a couple of years ago called Profit First was the book. And that was when the game changed for me, because this was after I was recovering from the craziness of 2021, absolute mental.
Yeah.
Business grew, and then literally very quickly business went like this, and then you had to recover. And the notion in there of what he said was, most people go income minus expenses equals profit.
Yeah.
But then he goes, you need to do it as income minus profit equals expenses, because then you will always be profitable because you've deducted that. And that sounds like something that you're doing in the tax world. What is that something you relate to? Is that how you manage your profit as well, or what's your take on that?
Do you know what I wish it was like I have or had a bookkeeper. I need a new one. If you know one, recommend me. But I used to sit down with my bookkeeper once a month, and she would go through everything with me, and she'd be like, right, you've brought this amount of money on this month, this client is leaving this month, this is how much we've got profit, this is what your systems cost. And every month I made, because I'm quite like I am quite I wouldn't say anxious person by nature, but like I'll overthink it. If I don't know enough, I'm quite a control freak. Like I like control, I like to know where I am, and I don't want any surprises. Like I like to know what's going on. So I made it a priority to have a sit down once a month with the bookkeeper to go, right, okay, what's going on? Do it in case you're close to like if there's something that I didn't know about, or there was any changes with that, or like do just anything like that you just know. Basically you don't want to be bitten in the arse, do you? So I thought, like, I didn't want to go, I know this is dramatic, but I was like, I don't want to be in prison because HMRC is coming after me. So I made it like a priority that I sat down with her once a month to go through basically everything, and to make sure everything was on the straight and narrow, basically.
Oh. Well, let's look at sacrifice, shall we?
Okay.
What's something you gave up early on that turned out to be completely worth it?
Oh, my job. I feel like if anyone's watching, they're going to be like, God, you're slating us. I'm not. But I could have stayed in that job and built this on the side, but it didn't. Like, I left. And I think it's the whole thing. It's like, if you're thrown into water and you've got to learn how to swim, you're going to learn how to swim quicker than if it's just like you're taking lessons once a week and you're not putting your full focus on it. So I think because I just dived off and learned how to, it was almost like I'm doing it, I'm jumping. And I just learned how to do it, and I had to live on it because I didn't have enough savings as I probably should have to not make the jump out of like my corporate career. And completely paid off. Within like the first month, I'd completely replaced my salary, and I was like, right, okay. I don't know why I was scared, like, you can do it. But I think, would I have done that if I hadn't have given myself the pressure of leaving? Probably not.
So you're a believer in pressure does make diamond, or pressure breaks people?
Oh no, it makes diamonds. I mean, I think it depends what type of person you are. Like, you are either someone who thrives under pressure and like last minute thing, and like that fuels you, or you're somebody who it's like fight or flight, isn't it? Like, but I do feel like a lot of business owners are pressure makes you. I mean, I don't know. I guess you're the same. Like 100%. You just thrive under like I always say, like, I just love. It's almost like that is pressure is my motivation. Like, if I haven't got pressure, it's like, what's going on? Like, I always need to feel uncomfortable in a way as like a driving force. Otherwise, I'm just like, oh.
What was that like? The day when you went, do you know what? I'm done with this career. I'm done with this role. I'm ready to go jump 2 feet into the deep end and see what I can do. What was that like physiologically?
I was really scared. So I actually took a sabbatical first, just to like, I was like, because I'm like quite a control freak. I was like, I don't want to lose full control of this. So I took a sabbatical first. I went like traveling for a couple of months, but was still working while I was traveling. So I built all this while I was like on holiday. And then I had to give me notice in because I was like, I can't go back. Like, I cannot go back to this job. Like, it was actually really bad for my mental health at the time. So I was like, I can't go back to this job. And I was like, I remember being like crying because I was like, I feel like I'm letting everyone down. Like, it's a career that because I think your identity is so heavily linked to your job. Like, you meet people and it's almost like, hi, you okay? Or what do you do for work? Like, it becomes part of your identity, what you do. And I liked being the girl who was like a scientist. Like, I was like, yay, like, I've worked really hard for it. And I think the realisation of, like, it's not that it's not part of my identity because I always did it, but it's almost like you're like letting go of like the hard work that you've done almost. And I was like, I'm letting everyone down, like, because I don't know about you, but my family is like, you need a good pension. You need this, a secure job, like, think about this. I mean, I come from a family of people who aren't really, there's no entrepreneurs in my family. So, like, I think at first they were like, what are you doing? I was like, oh my God, what have I let everyone down? And you'd overthink it, and we got really upset. And then I was just like, do you know what? You can always go back to a job. Like, I know I'm still good at science. Like, God forbid if social media got deleted tomorrow and I needed to, I'll go back to my job. I've got the qualifications, I can do it. But yeah, like, I was just, it was hard. I was stressed for like, and I felt really bad on like my boss for doing it. But then afterwards I was like, this is a reason, like, I'm going to worry about that now. It was like gone out of the headspace.
How easy or difficult was it to turn off the noise? Because from outsiders, yeah, fine, no problem. But from family as well, because like you said, you felt like you let your family. How did you navigate just turning that off because you fully believe, right, this is what I need to go do? What was that?
Do you know what I think? Because I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are business owners, and like, in terms of friends and my partner, and I moved away from Liverpool and moved to Manchester. And I think that separation, although obviously I miss my family, I think that did help because I wasn't getting it all the time. And to be honest, I tried not to speak to them about it. And then internally I was just like, do you know what? I think it was just the reconfirmation. I was doing like a lot of like self work at the time and like confidence building and things like that. And I thought, you know what, like you can always go back. Like you shouldn't say that because you don't want to give yourself the safety net, but it's almost like, yeah, I just thought bet on yourself. Like what's the worst that's going to happen type thing.
We're moving to opportunity.
Okay.
Which was the next category that you chose.
I'm excited for this one.
Let's find out what's in there.
I think I want this one. Sorry, it's a bit.
What's the opportunity that you're seeing in the agency space that most agency owners are missing?
I don't know if this is the one that like most people are missing, but I think people are either going into it like head first or they're completely shying away from it, and that is AI. So I think, how do I say this? Do I think you should use AI for absolutely everything in your business? Probably not. Do I think it can do a lot? Yes. Do I think it's a threat? No, because you still need somebody to understand it. You still need somebody to operate it. You still need somebody to program it. Like you still need somebody to understand you, your business. AI can't shoot content for you. Like it is great at a lot of different things. Like it's great for ideas, it's great for scheduling, like Claude, co-work, like you can do analytics report, like you can do so much on there. And I do think it's a powerful tool and it's unavoidable. Like everyone's like, don't use AI, boycott AI. And I think to an extent, but it's here to stay. Like we're not getting rid of it now. Everyone's got far too like comfortable and like they've integrated it into the teams and like it's not going anywhere. So I think the business owners who are going to have the most opportunity from it is getting in it early and figuring out how can it help them within their business. But also like not take away the human element to it that people actually want from a service.
How are you guys using it?
So when I have like meetings with teams, I import all of my like meeting notes in there. I've got projects for each client. So like it has everything stored in there as a database. So I don't forget anything about like projects because as you can imagine, the amount of like projects and people I speak to about certain things, like I forget if I don't have everything in there. So I have it there. I've got it set up for analytics reporting. If I need like ideas, sometimes I'm like, can you help me with ideas? But then I will never let it completely write scripts or completely write captions because I like to do it with like tone of voice. And sometimes it can just miss the mark with that. So I've trialed it a lot. I personally don't do it. But yeah, I use it in ways that make my life easier as an agency owner. So like invoicing, like note taking, like there's so many things. I can use it to build presentations. Sometimes I'll do graphics on there. Like there's so many different things, isn't there, that you can use. Like it even does, like there's a software now you can send outreach messages to with your voice, but it's not your voice, it's AI. So it's like there's so many different things that you can use it for, and it's about how you can use it for you.
Absolutely. And you look over LinkedIn these days, I mean, people have already made a phrase called AI schlop.
Oh, I hate it. I actually hate it.
What are some of the telltales when you read and you go, oh, here we go again? AI, ChatGPT, Claude, like what are some of them? Yeah.
Number one, and then when it's like, this is a good reminder of, it's not this, it's this. What else is there? And like I think in the past I would have been guilty. Like, do when that wasn't a thing, you think, oh my god, that's great, and then you realize, like, no, I actually can't. Like, this is horrendous. But yeah, like it's like certain phrases, and you think, or like it'll be like short sentence, full stop, short sentence, full stop, and like I think you can write like that to a degree, but I think it's very obvious when it's AI, and you're like, why can't you just put an and in there and just make it a bit more like conversation? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like, and the thing is, the algorithm doesn't like it. It flags it as AI content because of like the weird spacing and stuff. So it's actually not going to perform either.
What would you say to the agency owners that relies entirely on AI?
I'd say, well, it depends what the agency is, but I would just say, like, you do you, but make sure that you're still providing like a value. Like if your client knows you're using all AI and you're an AI agency and this and that, I think it's fine. But if they're expecting like a physical person to do something, and then it's quite clearly something that you're just like half-arsing with AI, then I personally wouldn't do it.
Looking at survival, what's a tough period you're now genuinely glad you went through?
I would say like maybe like 2 years, 18 months ago. I think that there was a number of different things which was like really like negatively impacting me. Not necessarily the business, because the business was doing okay. It definitely wasn't thriving though. Like it could have been doing a lot better. But I think, have you seen the Hormozy cycle? And it's like, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's like uninformed optimism, informed optimism, and then it's like informed pessimism. And it's like the cycle like this. I think I hit the, Joey, you're like actually in the trenches of like being a business owner, and it like hit me for the first time. And I was like, oh my God, like this is bloody hard work. And I felt like quite alone. Me health, like I think stress was having like a really bad impact on my health, because I was like stressed about everything. So I was like constantly back and forth from the doctors. I was like, I felt like mad imposter syndrome, because I was like, what am I doing? And yeah, I think it took a good couple of months to actually pull myself out of it and be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? And like shook myself. And although like the business was fine at that point, and it was still providing a good service, and from the outside you wouldn't know. Like it was like a duck in water. Like outside, like from the outside, it looked like everything was just going forward, but under the water, I was like this, and I was like, I don't know how to get out of this. And I think it just took me like taking a step back and being like, why are we doing how are we doing this? And just being like, do you know what? Stop it. I thought it was a hard conversation with myself. I'm like, stop it. And yeah, and ever since then, it's just gone like from strength to strength. But I do think it's like that thing that every business owner goes through. You end up like in the trenches of it, and you're like, this is bloody awful.
What did that teach you about yourself?
That I am resilient. Like, I think we don't give each other enough credit as business owners. Like, no, everyone talks about like the highlight reel, and you see everyone, they're like flying first class, and you're like being a business owner, like I'm just drinking margaritas on a beach. In reality, you've got somebody crying on the bedroom floor at 10 a.m. because something's gone wrong, and like they've had somebody ring and they're not paying an invoice, and then you've got to chase debt collectors to go and get it, and you're working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and like it's hard. Like, it's really bloody hard, and I don't think enough people talk about it, because you just get sold on the, oh yeah, you can make loads of money and it's not that much effort. It's hard. If you're be under no illusion, it's so hard.
And what were the practical steps that you took to pull yourself out? Because you said, I had to pull myself out. Like, what made you snap out and go, right, it's time to stop this? And what did you do to actually get yourself out?
I mean, again, I don't know about anyone else, but like I will spend a certain amount of time and I'll allow myself to be upset about something. And then it's almost like it'll be one day and I'll just wake up and be like, right, we're not doing this anymore. We're actually not doing this anymore. So I was like, right, what are we going to do? And I sat down with, I had a business. I actually enrolled and invested in mentoring. So I thought, you know what? This might just give me like the kick. So I spent like over 12 grand in like business coaching and mentoring. Just to like give me, it was almost like spend the money, because then you've got to pull yourself out of it. It's like skin in the game almost, even though it wasn't in my business, it was like coaching. And then I was like, I'm really going to prioritise getting myself in, like, because I'm quite big on fitness, and I do notice that I get more stressed out easily if I'm not like hitting the gym or going for a walk and stuff like that. So I was like, I need to prioritise that. I need to prioritise actually spending time with my friends and family, because that is something I'd neglected because I was just all work. And I put some systems in place, and was just like, you need to stop overthinking it. You just need to do it. Like, the only way to go through this is to work through it. So work through it, and like the more you do, the more you'll believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the better you'll feel. So it was just like, yeah.
Christie, I could continue talking with you about this all day long, but we've got a segment on the show called the AMSOS Challenge.
Yeah.
This is where the previous guest has set you a challenge without knowing who you are. And the question is, would you like to accept the challenge without knowing what it is?
Let's go for it.
All right. The challenge chosen for you is the hire. Describe your dream hire in one sentence.
Has their own initiative.
Tell me more.
Like, there's been so many times where I've like either subcontracted people or I've brought somebody into the team, and like you'll speak to them and they'll go, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah, I've got ideas, I can do that. And then you end up spending more time than you initially would have. And like, again, you're so time poor when you're trying to build something. And like, I need somebody to come in, and I don't mind training you. Like, it's not that. Like, I'm happy to put the time in. But after I've trained you, I kind of expect you to get on with it. And feel free to ask me questions, but I shouldn't still be basically doing two people's jobs. Like, it shouldn't, again, like, it's like scarred. It's like, you need somebody to be able to have their own brain and opinion. And again, it's like, I was asking somebody, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to train you how to write my LinkedIn post. And I didn't even get past that because it was just like AI slop. And I was like, now I'm teaching you how to do it. Like, it's not that difficult. And like, it's just so frustrating. And I'm just like, somebody with their own brain is just like so underrated.
I'm laughing because I go through this all the time.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it's insane.
But let me ask you, how do you then interview for that so that you can filter out those people?
I make it abundantly clear. Like, so I've just brought on somebody else, and right now she's doing an amazing job. Like, I actually can't fault her. And what I did is I went to a specific, basically I used like a talent recruiter.
Okay.
And I was like, this is what I need. It's like, this is where I am at. This is what I need. Like, I need somebody to be competent in actually marketing. I need them to have their own brain. I need them to be able to be proactive, and they don't need to like harm me or everything. Like, I need somebody who's self-sufficient. But like, obviously they can rely on me again. I don't want to seem like I'm like a bitch, but I need somebody to just be able to think for themselves. And the candidates that I got given by the first lot was just terrible, so I ended up being on that agency off. Like, it's that whole thing of hire slow, fire fast. So I made sure that the next person I took on I'd actually interviewed them. I gave them trial tasks to do. I was like very explicit in what I wanted, and I didn't hire them until I kind of thought I had a good idea of the person. And it's working out actually quite well. So yeah, I'd recommend that.
The final question is a game of chance.
Okay.
So that's a 6-sided dice that I've just thrown to you.
Okay.
I'd like you to roll it, and whatever number that lands on determines what question you answer to close off the show. 2. If I gave you £10,000 for a charitable cause, how would you spend the money and why?
So there's two ways you can look at this, isn't there? There's like, okay, you could probably put that into ad spend to try and make more money for the charitable cause and like market the charity to try and get more money. So like, what you could do is you could give, for example, say you knew a lot of fitness influencers running the London Marathon. You could be like, okay, I'm gonna pay for 10 spaces with that £10,000, or like probably you pay for more than that. You probably spend £1,000 on doing that, and between their huge followings, they will probably each make a lot more than that £10,000. Or you could put it into like really high performing ads and like try and promote it that way. I wouldn't just like doss it out between the charities as much as you would like to do that. I'd try and think of like a really clever way, depending on the charity, to try and maximise that £10,000.
Love that. What charity is closest to your heart?
Probably the Jospus in, where is it? It's in like Former Beats in Liverpool. And we've recently just had a family member that was in there and unfortunately passed away, but they were just amazing with them. And it was just, yeah, they were just gorgeous, can't fault them. So probably them.
Christie, I've thoroughly enjoyed having you on the podcast. Every time I see some of the stuff that you're doing, it always sparks that fire in me, because you started your agency a lot younger than I started my agency. I started around 24 and you started way younger than that. And every time I look at it, I'm like, right, this is someone who's going after it full blown head on. And yeah, I just love what you're about. I love what you're doing. We'll link all your information in the description below so people can see some of the
amazing.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure having you on the AMSOS podcast.
Thank you for
I
having
look
me.
forward to what you do next.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Thanks.